now the recording has been started. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the today's session. So, in the last session, we have seen these details of geometry, meshing, and Fluent, and all the Fluent modules required for completing the simulations. So, right now, we are in the stage of the meshing of the geometry, what we had created in the last week. But we did not record that session, so I will quickly perform the geometry for your better understanding. I will do the geometry once again. So how to open the geometry? To open the geometry, you need to, like, if you want to get this geometry box, you need to check after first you need to open the workbench. Open the workbench from your workbench session. So this is the workbench. So you need to click it and open. Once you open it, then you will get a white blank space. That means the project schematic, what you are seeing here. So this project schematic and these details, the toolbox, you will get so many toolboxes here and you will get so many component systems here, right? So during the installation time itself, you can control how many tools you require for your present work. For me, as I know what are the tools I required for my work, so I only installed ANSYS Fluent and Fluent tools and other required tools. So for your purpose, if you don't know what are the tools you require, what are the modules you require, you can install all the modules during the installation of the software. So after getting the white space, this is the project schematic that we say white space. And this is a toolbox. Here you can get all the modules list. So to get this geometry, where this geometry helps you to, this module helps you to create the model your geometry, where how we did the same way that we did in the last week. So to get the geometry, first you need to find where is the geometry tool. Sorry, where is the geometry tool available. So here is my geometry tool. Give me a second. Am I audible, everyone? I see some problem in my system. It's not responding. Give me a second. So after open, I'm just now opening the workbench. So workbench looks like this, ANSYS 2020 R2, the software I have right now. So this is the version that you need to be careful while selecting your versions. You can use the latest versions also. So the latest version has a different user interface compared to the previous versions. So once you open the ANSYS, this is the project schematic that you find and all the list of tools. Okay. So I hope I'm audible. Intermittently, I would also like to check whether I'm audible or not with you all. You can also give some
Yes, sir.
queries.
Yes, sir. You
Text.
are audible,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So here I have a geometry module. I will just give the take out the geometry module by double clicking the geometry and drag it here to the this red box. So now I took the geometry module for creating my geometry. In the same way, if I want the mesh module, I will click the mesh module and drag it to the adjacent box. And again, if I want the fluent for performing the simulation, I need to drag the fluent. So this is how I need to drag the modules required for the present simulation. Up to this, we learned everything in the last session. So I will open that last session where we left. So you also need to ensure that you should save this workbench, this project as this workbench project. Unless you save it, you whatever the geometry you made or the mesh you created, it won't be saved. So right now I already have this module saved, I mean workbench saved in my directories in my disk. So I will open that. So there we already created the geometry with the circular circular section with the computational domain around that. So how we created the geometry. So give me 5 to 10 minutes. I will quickly show these details what we did in the last step. So to open the geometry modular, you need to just click it once and right click and go to the edit geometry, the design modular. Or if you are opening a new geometry, that means if you are opening a fresh new geometry, it will ask you like this. new space plan geometry or new design modular. That means you don't have any geometry already available in your geometry module. So that's why it is asking you like this. If you already have a geometry, then you are right clicking and trying to see, it asks you for the edit geometry in the space plan. There are two design modular or this CAD design softwares available in this workbench. One is design modular. The second one is a space plan. So we use only the design modular. So edit your geometry in the design modular itself. So just for starting from the fresh, as I'm recording this session, so how to create the geometry in the design modular. So right click on the design modular and go to the new design modular. Most of the content what I'm going very fast now, it's already covered in the last session. So please try to understand this, or whoever already know, they can practice it. So new design modular, you can right click and you can just a second. Okay. This is some error. You don't need to worry about it. This is an ensured by error. So it will open now the design modular where you can see. You can see here at the left bottom at my cursor position, there is something like starting design modular. So this is my design modular workspace. Here I can model my design, whatever the design I want. So right now I want to create a geometry in such a way that there will be a circle and a rectangle over the circle. And the reason that we discussed already, we want to simulate a flow over a circle or a flow over a cylinder. There is a cylinder like this, like in a three-dimensional way. You can see this is a cylinder. You can see this small object as a cylinder. So this cylinder, we are trying to simulate a flow over the cylinder. So how the flow looks like around the cylinder on top and bottom, right? Fine. So for that, what we need to create? We need to create the cylinder first, and we need to also create the space around the cylinder. So I'm now taking XY plane and looking at normal to it. So look at, if you're looking at normal to it, you will be looking at the normal to it. Okay. Then create the sketching. Yes, any queries? Any queries? If you have any queries, you can just type in the chat box. Okay, fine. So then you can take a circle here. Like this, you can take a circle. And if you want to take a rectangle from here and draw the rectangle like this. That's it. Now, sketching is done, but we need to give the dimensions for it to ensure that we are doing a perfect or correct simulations, because without dimensions, you don't know how what kind of simulations you are performing. So right now I want to give some dimension of radius to the circle. So I go to the dimensions box. Here you can see the dimensions. So earlier you were there in the draw section. Now we are going into the dimension section. So this is the dimension sections, and then I select the radius tool. So this is the radius tool. I just select it and give the dimension here. So it won't give you any value. It just give you a naming of the dimension. That means this R1 consists of a value, like the same way that you do in your programming, that you give A equals to 1, B equals to 2, like that. So this is the R1 you are giving a naming. Where to adjust the value of this R1? If you come your left side, you can see the details of sketch. Here you can adjust your value of R1. If I adjust to 5, it becomes 5. If I adjust to 10, it becomes 10. Okay. So like that, you can adjust your dimensions. If you want to add horizontal dimensions, suppose I want to add horizontal dimensions like here from this point to this point, I'm adding now horizontal dimension. So it's named as a H2, the variable as H2. So I can adjust the dimension as I require. 300, you can see it went outside. So 100, okay, like that. Like that, as per your requirement, you can adjust the dimensions. So up to this, we are clear, okay? So suppose these are the random dimensions. I'm not going to do any random dimensions. Sorry, I'm not going to take actual dimensions that we took in the last session. So these, after applying these random dimensions, what we need to do now, come back to the modeling tab. This is your sketching tab. So come out of the sketching tab to the modeling tab. In this modeling tab, what we need to do, we are doing a two-dimensional simulation. Two-dimensional simulation means we are considering there is a negligible thickness or unit thickness in the z direction. So we are only creating a surface. Surface, how the surface looks like. So to create a surface, go to the create option here. Sorry, concept option here, and then go to the surface from sketches. Okay. So you need to go to the concept option and the surfaces from sketches. Once you check that, you can select the sketch what you drawn just now, this sketch. This is a complete single sketch. So you just select any one and just apply. Okay. So then click on generate option here. There is a generate option, then click on it. So this is how our circle creates, our surface creates. So only in the selected region, my fluid comes from here. This is my boundary, inlet boundary. I say this is my inlet. Fluid comes in this boundary along on the surface. You'll be taking this as a fluid domain, and it travels along the cylinder, around the cylinder, and the flow physics around the cylinder also you will see very soon. Okay, the similar way. So we are going to simulate these things. So that's why we are creating a surface of circular cylinder and a rectangular domain around this. So for your better understanding, let me show you flow over a cylinder video. Sorry, just a second. So this is the dynamics of a flow over cylinder. I'm not going to play this video. Let me. This is an important snapshot that we need to look into it. So here, the key parameters of simulating flow over a cylinder is these we call as a streamlines. I have to give a definition, something like a streamlines for you all. But you might already learned in your fluid mechanics course or fluid dynamics course, whatever it is. Just can you raise your hand? How many of you understood the definition of a streamline, or at least you heard the name? There is a something like a streamline. Please raise your hand. Streamline. Can you please raise your hand? How many of you heard the name something like a streamline? Am I audible? Okay, Ajoy, you heard the name streamline. Okay, only one. Others? Nice. Only two people. Others also, can you please raise? Okay, three. Priyanshu, fine. Good. So I'm not going to give the definition of a streamline right now, but I will just give you the example how it looks. What is a streamline is? So streamline is so just a brief idea, not example. So streamline is a line, imaginary line. People will use the imaginary line. That means that you cannot see that directly with your naked eye, unless certain circumstances. Uh, so the streamline has a definition of at every point on the streamline, if you take the derivative at that particular point, tangent, or if you draw a tangent at that particular point on the line, you will get the velocity field or velocity vector at that point. Okay. So that is the definition of the streamline. So please down your hands. Thank you, Priyansh, Mohit, and Ajoy. So those lines you can draw very effectively in simulations. Simulations has that capability because you are giving the conditions. So these are the streamlines. So at Reynolds number, how many of you heard about the Reynolds number? Everyone please down your hand. Everyone please down your hand. Please down your hand. I just want to ask one more question. Everyone please down your hand. Okay, fine. Now, how many of you heard about the Reynolds number? Reynolds number. Can you please raise your hand if you heard about the Reynolds number? You don't need to remember the definition, or you don't need to tell the definition now. If you already heard that number, that name, something like terminology, something like a Reynolds number, just raise your hand. I don't see anyone still. Arhit, The Reynolds number concept is covered in your fluid mechanics. I hope it's covered, right, Aman? Aman, are you there? Okay, fine. I believe, am I audible, Aman? Don't worry. If you don't know, I will just try to help you. What is the Reynolds number if you don't know? But let me know. Am I audible? Aman, Arhit?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
You are audible, sir.
Thank you, Aman. Fine. So I believe I'm audible. So if you don't know what is the concept of Reynolds number, you can go through the concept of Reynolds number. So just give me a second. I will come back. Just give me a second.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yes,
Reynolds
sir.
number, fine. So if you don't know the Reynolds number, you can have a look at the definition of a Reynolds number. It is actually defined in the form of the ratio of inertial forces to the uh, viscous forces. So please go through the definition of the Reynolds number and look at the importance of the Reynolds number. So the Reynolds number plays the very important, very crucial role, like in the flow fields of any object. So if you are giving a very low Reynolds number flow conditions, you will get a flow in such a way that you are getting the streamlines. Can you see the streamlines in such a way that there are no fluctuations or no uh, like circulations? These things we call as circulations. I hope my screen is visible to you all. So these things, these right things we call as circulations. And these kind of circulations we don't get if you are giving a very low Reynolds number. If you are increasing the Reynolds number, say 40, you are seeing a pattern of circulations here like this. Okay, everyone please note these concepts. So we are going to see based on these kind of flow features based upon from our simulations in future. So if you are increasing further the Reynolds number, you will definitely see these kind of patterns like circulations with the oscillations. You are seeing the oscillations in the oscillations means the line is, you can see the turnings. The turning in the lines I'm saying is the oscillations in the flow field. This at particular instant. If I play the video, you can see the oscillations now very clearly. Let me show you. Okay. In the same way, you will get more oscillations if you increase the Reynolds number. So this is what we are trying to simulate in our present lecture contents. Fine. So geometry is modeled. Let me open the same geometry what we modeled in the last session. We are done with this. So in the last session, we modeled this kind of geometry, a big space for computing the. This is the computational domain. The rectangle box is the big space is the computational domain, and this is our circle. So we are trying to simulate the flow over the circle. Okay. So the dimensions are like this. You can follow up these dimensions. So H1, H6, R11, V8, and V9. So all these dimensions we applied in this way, that 100 meters, 350 meters, and the radius of 5 meters, 50 and 50. So these dimensions we applied and then we created the surface. So up to this we learned last time. So for any queries up to this session, so we are going to see the new session today, how to create the mesh. So for any queries, if you have any queries, just raise your hand.
No, sir. No queries.
Yeah, okay. Good. So if no queries, let's move on to the mesh part. So after creating the geometry, we need to go to the mesh part. So we are creating the connection between geometry and mesh here. So how to create the connection between geometry and mesh? Let me delete this connection once again for you, so that you can apply it again. Just a second, sorry. Not like that. So if you have a mesh here, how to connect this mesh and geometry? Just double click on the geometry and drag it and drop into the geometry or the mesh, whatever it is. So this is how you can create the connection between geometry and a mesh. Okay, in the same way here, geometry and the mesh. Fine. Got it? So this is how we created a mesh connection between the geometry and the mesh. Now let's go to the dive into the mesh topic. This is the second. This is not covered in the last session. So everyone please concentrate from here. So let's open the mesh here. How to open the mesh? Right click and we will get the edit option. So right click and edit. Once you click the edit, you will see option like starting meshing here. So now the mesh is starting. So let's wait some time until the mesh window is open. So we just now seeing the meshing window. So this is the meshing window. Now you can see a zero thickness or a unit thickness meshing unit thickness geometry that we created in the last geometry session is just imported into this meshing domain. Okay, so how to see it? I don't want, because there is no three-dimensional geometry here. It is completely two-dimensional. You cannot see any thickness value in this. Okay, fine. So this is the domain. If you want to switch between wireframe, I hope many of you know what is a wireframe. Wireframe is a mesh kind of structure that you won't see any surfaces. If you want to switch between wireframe and the surface kind of this kind of shading region, you can use this option. There is an option here, wireframe. So if you click this option, you won't see any surfaces. You will see only edges like this. If you want to see the surface also, you can click this option once again. Got it? So this is how you can switch between the wireframe and the. So now we have in the mesh option, many tools are there. You don't need to worry about all the tools. We will just look at what are the important tools required for our particular objective. So our particular objective is to now create a small boxes of finite volume. I'm saying in terms of the CFD terminology, we are going to create a mesh that means a finite volumes, small volumes in the computational domain. Okay, so how to create that? So you now have an option here, mesh. Everyone able to load this part up to this part? Can you please raise your hand? How many of you opened up to this mesh on your screens?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Reason I don't have my.
Sorry, your voice is not clear.
Sir,
Sayak, yes,
I
yes.
don't have my geometry.
Sorry. Can you please type your question, Sayak?
Sir, I don't have my geometry.
You don't have your geometry.
Okay, sir. I'm done. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so how many of you already done up to this part? Just please raise your hand, because if I'm just going through like this and you are not able to follow it, it will be a waste of time. So just please raise your hand. How many of you done opening this mesh part? Only two. Only two are able to follow. Three, fine. Sayak, I will help you after this session. You can share your screen and I can look into your details. Only two, three. No, I don't see any other. Like I see there are many good number of participants today, but please raise your hand. Like how many of you completed up to this part, opening the mesh?
सर एक बार रिपीट करना
Up to complete this mesh part, like question, or you want to open how to open this mesh?
Sir, meshing, how to meshing?
We did not create any mesh, Abhishek here. I'm just saying, if you're done with your geometry, just right click on the this mesh part, go to this mesh part and right click on it and go to the edit option. There is edit option here. So then click on edit. Then you will get to see an option right here, starting meshing. Okay. That's it. Your geometry will be loaded into your meshing module. So is it clear? Ravindra, can you please mute your mic, or you are having any query? Ravindra? Yeah. If you have any queries, please type in the chat box so that I can see that your queries or whether you're following it or not. Yes, Ajay.
Hello, am I audible, sir? Hello.
Yes, Ajay. Tell me.
Sir, I am Professor Ravindra. Actually, sir, me and my colleagues are unable to do the work we are doing the task.
Ajay, sorry. Your voice is not clear. Your voice is not clear. Your voice is not clear, Ajay. Can you please type your query? Can you all please type your queries if you are unable to follow? Please let me know, because Ajay, your voice is not clear. Can you please type it? Am I audible? First.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. If I'm audible, what Ajay is saying, can you let me know? Ajay, please type your query then. Okay. So let me finish this session, then I will give you time for you all to see your screen and we can interact one to one, how up to what level you are able to follow it or not. So fine. So the next session is about the meshing. So how to create a small blocks in this surface, whatever the surface we just created from the geometry, we are going to see how to create the block. Aman, who is that?
Hello.
Yes, who is this?
Hello, sir, am I audible?
Yes, who is this? Priyanshu.
Sir, I am no, sir. I am a Professor Ravinder. Actually, sir, I want to share the few things. Actually,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
we
Yes,
are
sir.
unable to do with you. Actually, you are
Okay.
doing it too fast.
The last session up to the geometry part or opening this mesh is already covered in the previous
Uh,
weeks, sir. So that's why I
yes,
gone
sir.
through much
Yes,
faster.
sir. Actually, we have created the rectangle and the circle, but after that, हमें क्या करना है? We not having any idea.
Okay, sir. So created a rectangle and circle.
Yes, sir.
So you are still in the design modeler. So let me open my design modulus. So after creating this rectangle and circle, we need to create a surface. That means we just created a sketch, but we did not create any surface or 3D model. We are doing a 2D modeling only. So we need to create a surface because we are doing a 2D modeling. So sketching part you might have seen up to this one.
Sketching, modeling. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just a second. So let me create my sketch here. My sketch is I have my sketch here ready for you. So the dimensions are like this. Give the dimension of the circles as as 5 meters. You can see here. Is it clear for you? Like, can you able to see my screen?
Can we give our own dimension to the circle set?
If you are going to give your own dimension, what will happen at the end? You will get a different flow physics than everyone.
Oh, okay, sir.
That means you are not able to see the particular structure than what others are getting. If your dimensions are different, your flow physics, what you are going to see is also different.
Okay, sir. The simulation part is different.
Simulation part, yes. We need to
I get the
maintain some standard.
different simulation part.
Yes. Different simulation
Okay, sir.
results you will get. So we need to maintain some dimensional consistency everywhere. So then we will get the same results. So everyone please give the radius as 5 meters and all the remaining dimensions similar to this. You can take a screenshot of it and you apply the dimensions as you are seeing on the screen. So where you can see the dimension values in the right left side of the details view. So H10 means horizontal, that is corresponding to this dimension, and H6 is corresponding to this dimension. So like that, you can take a screenshot and if you just apply the dimensions. Once it is done, please let me know. I will go to the next step. Abhishek, is it done for you?
Yes, sir. Sir, we are unable to follow you.
I mean, are you able to create the sketch and are you able to apply the dimensions or not?
Sir, I can follow your steps, but sir, your screen is not visible clearly. I can hear audio only.
Screen is not visible clearly. Like, what is the problem? Is it resolution or your internet issue?
Sir, resolution.
Resolution issue. Okay. Can you tell me exactly what is the problem? Resolution issue means it's a blur. Is it blur? Are you seeing in the phone or laptop?
Sir, it is blur.
It's blur. Okay. Where you're seeing? Where you're seeing on the projector?
Yes, sir.
You're seeing on the projector.
No, sir, I am see on the system.
Still, it is blur. Okay, let me turn off my video so that you can get some bandwidth.
No, sir. I think, sir, there is a network issue in the lab, so that's why they got this not in the proper display. So
Okay, for you, is it clear, Aman?
yes, sir. For me, it is clear, sir. Everything is clear, sir.
Okay. So the problem
Sir,
maybe if it is a
you
network.
should zoom your screen.
Okay. Which part you want me to zoom? Is that sufficient? Is it sufficient, Abhishek, or you need something? So for the dimensions part, what we will do is I will right now give you can right now give the random dimensions. After the end of this session, I will give the dimension values and the screenshot of this. You can see the video also. You can go through the video recording once again in YouTube. I will upload it in YouTube and I will share it to you all. Fine.
Yes,
Then you
sir.
can change your dimensions once again. So if you are fine with the random dimensions so far now, let's go to the next part, that is creating the surface. So how to create the surface? Creating the surface, you need to go to the concept icon here. First, come to the modeling. If you are already in the sketching tab, come to the modeling tab. Here is the modeling tab. So click on the modeling and now go to the concept. Here, the top there is a concept icon. Okay. So go to the concept, click on the concept and go to the surfaces from sketches. Got it? So click on the icon surfaces from sketches. Once you are done, if you click on the surfaces from sketches, here you can see there is an option already enabled that base objects apply or cancel. That means you just need to select your sketch. Any sketch, whatever you just created, any line, just select the sketch and click on apply button. You can see now one sketch is selected. Okay. Once it is done, you can click on the generate option. There is an option called generate. Click on it. You will get the surface. Up to this part, how many of you are able to follow this part up to this part? Just raise your hand if you are able to follow up to this part. Just raise your hand. Sorry. Okay, 1, 2. Priyanshu sir, you are able to follow this? Yeah, I hope it's now for creating the surface is done for you. 1, 2, only 2. Others?
Sir, the most of students doing very slow, and we are unable to find the dimension part, and we are unable to create the 3D part of this.
Okay, sir. So dimensions, we can go back to once again after the recording lecture. There we can change the dimensions once again from the recorded lectures. So to create a 3D part, if you have the sketch ready with you, sir, you just need to, let me delete my surface once again. So if you have a sketch, this is the sketch ready with you already. Is it, sir? I guess up to this sketch is ready with you all. If it is ready, then go to the concept icon here. There is a concept icon. Go to the concept icon and go to the surfaces from sketches. Concept and go to the surfaces from sketches. Click on it and select the any sketch line, any line. Select it and click on apply button. Once you click on apply button, click on the generate icon. That will create a 2D surface. Is it clear? Priyanshu sir, is it clear for you now?
Yes, sir. I done it, sir.
Okay, Ajay, good. Okay, Aman. I hope others also did it. Like if you are, I hope everyone at the same
Can
place.
you go through the mesh, sir?
Yeah, we can go through the mesh and we confirm with others also whether they can or they are able to follow it or not. Yeah, I believe you are able to follow this. If not, please get the help from others also, or please recall the video lecture also once again after the uploading it to the YouTube. Okay, or with from the people or the friends who already just performed it. Let me go to the mesh.
Yes, sir.
I need
Mesh
to
part.
complete that today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we need to see, look at the today's session. So in the meshing, to open the mesh, right click and click on edit option. So it will ask for you the details to update from the upstream. That's not an issue right now. You can click on yes. So then if you're starting the mesh, here you can see the information that the mesh is starting at the bottom, left bottom, you can see starting of the mesh. So right now my domain is imported. Okay. So now I can perform the meshing option. To perform the mesh, what you need to do is there is a left icon here. You can just click on the mesh button and you can set your preferences here. All the mesh controls are available in this mesh icon only. So my preferences is I'm not doing a mechanical structural analysis or something else. I'm going to do a CFD analysis. As I told you, there are many options that you have in this meshing option. Meshing is required for many particular things. So we are going to do this or use a CFD, that is CFD. So select here preference as a CFD. Okay. Once you're done selecting the preference as a CFD, it asks you for some more details. Whether you're using the solver as a Fluent. Yes, we are using a Fluent solver only. We are not going to use any other solver. And element order linear and element size. This is the important thing. For us, we have already the radius of the cylinder is 5 meters. So I asked to create a minimum element size of, suppose if I say 2.5 meters, that is half of my radius of the cylinder. So it creates the elements. Elements means the block or the finite volumes. So at the size of restricted to 2.5 meters. So I just set the element size as 2.5 meters. And if I click on the generate button, let it complete for the meshing, you will see the element sizes. So hope this is clear up to everyone. So this is how it creates the elements. My size of the cylinder is 5 meters. So I asked you to restrict the dimensions as to 2.5 meters. So also it tries to capture the domain and the cylinder. So based upon that, it has the ability to control your dimension sizes also. Got it? So everyone, this step I just performed. You can follow it up, or I will hold it here for some time. I will help you to make you done by all of you here. So let me know whether you perform this step or not. Let me first, please everyone raise your, whoever done this operation, whoever done this meshing operation, please raise your hand. If none of you done, just I will
Sir,
repeat the process
after
once
selecting
again.
the mesh, in which portion we have to put the value, sir?
Yes.
After selecting the mesh, sir?
Click on the mesh icon,
Yes,
left
sir.
click on the mesh and go to the physics relevance. Physics relevance, go to the CFD.
In default. Okay, sir.
Physics relevance, go to the CFD and solver preference as fluent. Okay. And then in the below the element order, you have an option like element size. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. My cylinder radius is 5 meters. I know what is my cylinder size. My cylinder size is 5 meters. So I put half of my cylinder size, that is 2.5 meters. You see, I just put half of my cylinder size, that is 2.5 meters. Okay. And then don't do anything. Just click on the only this generate option, generate. Then how many of you able to follow it? Aman, is it you are able to follow this? If others you are not able
Yes,
to
sir.
follow it, please
Yeah.
type your query in the question and answer section. Please type your query or just say, sir, I'm not able to follow. So that I will repeat for you again and again. Okay. Please type. Let me know that whether you are able to follow it or not. So that only I can understand whether you are getting it or not.
Yes, sir. My message generated, sir.
Yes, good, Aman. Others, please raise your hand whether you are able to. If you are not able to follow it, please raise your hand. So whoever going to raise the hand now, I will just I will assume it like you are not able to follow the session. I will repeat for you again. Okay, Abhishek is not able to follow it. Fine. Abhishek, this is not only for you, for everyone. I will go now step by step. So give me your feedback. Everyone, please give me your feedback so that we can proceed for the next session clearly. So the first step is, how many of you able to open your design modeler? Please raise your hand. Everyone, I am seeing few people here. How many of you able to open? First, I'm starting from the very basic. How many of you able to open your design modeler? Just raise your hand. Only one, two. Everyone, please let me know how many of you able to open your design modeler. Please raise your hand. One, two. Others are not even able to open your design modeler. Okay, please down your hand. So the question is, how many of you are unable to open your at least the design modeler? The question is, how many of you are not even able to open the design modeler? If yes, please raise your hand. Abhishek, did you hear the question correctly? Just asking how many of you not even able to open your design modeler software? If that is the case, please raise
Yes,
your
sir.
hand. Are you able to open your design modeler software or not?
Yes, sir.
Then this is not the question for you. Please down your hand. So the question is, if you are not able to open the design modeler also, please raise your hand. Not able to. Yeah. So I see Priyanshu, you are not able to open your design modeler. Fine. Dharmaraj, you are not able to open your design modeler. Others, please raise your hand. Please raise your hand. Don't put down your hand. Dharmaraj, please raise your hand. Others, okay. Mohit, you are also not able to open your design modeler. Fine. 3, fine. Okay. Priyanshu, sir. Priyanshu, you are professor, right, sir? Oh,
No,
is it,
sir. He is a student.
is it, okay, he's
He
a
is
different
student,
person.
sir. Priyanshu
Okay,
is a
fine.
student.
Okay. So 3 people are not even able to open the design modeler, and 2 people are able to open the design modeler and follow the content. I see only 5 people are here present in this. I believe only 5 people are present in this workshop and able to do the things. Okay, fine. So Aman, can you share your screen?
Yes, sir. I can say yes, sir. I'm saying.
Yeah. So everyone, please follow my instructions. I'm now not going to do the instructions on my own. I will take the help of Aman. So he will guide you the step-by-step process. Everything is step-by-step. So now Aman is going to show us how to do this meshing. Close this meshing, Aman.
Yes, sir.
Start from the
Yes,
basic
sir.
workbench.
Can you see that, sir?
Yeah, I can see, but start
Can you?
from the extreme basics. Yes, I can see. Close everything and start from the basics.
Yes, sir. From here, from this part, we can for geometry portion, first right click on the geometry portion and go to the edit in discovery
No,
portion. There is
Aman. We are not able to
yes,
see
sir.
your, not able to see any of your movements. Close your screen and reshare it. Share with not as a window, share your entire screen.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
And
Uh,
follow my
let me do it again,
instructions.
sir.
Follow my
Yes, yes.
instructions and
Entire
do
screen,
only,
sir.
yeah, entire screen. Share as entire screen. Follow my instructions and
Uh,
do only those things.
system of 1 minute. Cancel. Share window. Entire screen. And this
Yeah,
now you can
it's
see that, sir.
now it is good. So follow the first one is take the geometry
Geometry.
module into the project schematic. Drop and place. No, drop, drag and drop the geometry into the project schematic. So this is the first step. Everyone, please follow that. First, find out where is your geometry module. Everyone, find out where is your geometry module. Drag and drop that into the project schematic. Slow, Aman.
I cannot drop the geometry processor. I
Drop
trying,
into
sir, but
the green boxes. Drop
yes, sir.
only into the green
Yes, sir.
boxes.
Okay, sir. And after that, we have to drop the mesh portion. Just left click and hold it and drop in the green portion. And for the fluent part, click left click on fluent, hold it and drop in the green portion.
Okay.
Yes,
Hold,
sir.
hold, Aman. So everyone able to follow this step? How many of you completed this step? What Aman told. Dragging the geometry, mesh, and fluent. So Ajoy and Pragya, you both did this job. Others? Mohit? Mohit, did you complete this step? Ravindra, Sayak? Okay, Pranjal, did you complete this step? Please give your feedback, guys. So if you're done with this step, just type in the chat box. It is done. Yes, sir. This step, after this step, dragging and dropping the geometry mesh and creating the project
Yes, sir.
schematic. Please type, side. Please type. Sorry. Please type it.
So actually, I can't typing because I'm joining by my phone.
Okay.
There is some problem to type.
Okay, fine. So I hope everyone now completed this step. And the next step is, Aman, go to the geometry and create the circle and rectangle. Up to that step you follow. How to just
right
tell them
click,
how to open the.
okay, for geometry portion, just right click on the geometry portion and go to the new design modular geometry and click it. After a few minutes, the geometry portion will open. Now this is open. My geometry portion is open now, and then I have to create the geometry. For geometry, go to the sketching portion and choose the
Sketching
XY
is at your
plane.
left. Hold on. Sketching is at your
Yes,
left toolboxes tab at left. Show them where is the modeling and where is sketching.
yes.
Start, Guru.
Here, the modeling part and the sketching part is here. Click on the in modeling part, you get this XY plane, these planes, and in sketching portion, we can see that all the shapes, circles, and lines, etc. For circle, just click on the circle and draw it. And for the rectangle, click the rectangle portion, select the rectangle portion, and draw the rectangle. And
Okay, hold on.
for giving the dimension, yes, sir.
Hold on. So now everyone please down your hand and raise your hand only. You are done up to this step. Raise your hand only if you are done up to this step. Sayak, Priyanshu, and Pragya. If you are done up to this step, if you are able to follow up to this step, raise your hand. If not, unmute yourself and tell me what is the problem.
Yes, sir.
If not, if you are unable to follow up to this step, unmute yourself and tell me your problem right now itself. We are not going to cover this session again. So please tell your any problem right now itself if you are not able to follow up to this step. Okay, I did not hear any queries. So Aman, give the idea how
Yes,
to
sir.
give the dimensions, give the radius first.
Dimension. For dimension, here the dimension section. Please click on the dimension section and the dimensions here for which shape I have to give the dimension. Select that shape for radius, for circle, radius, for diameter. Here is the diameter section. I'm going to give the dimension to the radius. Click on the radius and select the circle and drag it, and here is the R1 portion is come. R1 is come, and here below modeling, you can see that the R1 dimension 1, R1 portion is there. Click it and give the dimension 5 and enter it. Using this, and for the vertical and horizontal, for horizontal portion, select the horizontal section and this from this point to this point and drag it down, and here H2 is come. For H2, giving the dimension of H2, click on H2 below the modeling section. You find this dimension section to giving the dimension, and enter the dimension is 350 meter. And you?
Okay, hold on. So now everyone, how many of you able to how many of you understood this step? Please raise your hand if you understood this step. Priyanshu, I see your hand is always raising. Okay, Sayak understood this step. Only Sayak, Pranjal, Pragya, Mohit, Mohammed. Okay, so you all understood this step. Only Sayak and Mohammed understood. Others, if not others, you can type your query. Okay, Pragya understood this question. Others, okay, Pranjal also. So you all are able to do this step, right? I believe you all are able to do this step. So this is how you need to give the dimensions. So the next step is creating the surface. Aman, create a surface from this
Yes.
sketch.
Yes, sir. Can we give other dimension also, sir?
Okay. Right now it will be
For vertical direction?
okay. Take some
Vertical
time and
vertical
give the
direction?
other dimensions also. Yeah.
Yes, sir. For vertical direction?
If you have all other
Uh,
dimensions also, take some time and give all other dimensions also. Everyone, please follow this
Yes,
step
sir. Yes,
so
sir.
that you will get the geometry clearly. So apply all the dimensions what
Drag it
Aman
down.
is going to apply now.
For B3. For B3, just give the dimension for B3 is 50 meters. Enter. Okay, sorry. Do something else. And select again the vertical direction. Give it to V4. And, for B3, give the dimension 50 meters. And for V4, give it 50 meters. And here V4. And for another horizontal direction between this axis and this horizontal line, select the horizontal line and select this horizontal line and this axis, drag it up, and here is come H5. For H5, the dimension is 100 meter and enter it. Now become now where we can now here is completed sketching and dimension section. After that, we have to generate.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Let them complete this step. So everyone, please follow this step and create your mesh. If you are done with your not mesh, and please create your sketch. If you are done with sketching, I just want to see everyone to raise your after completion of your sketching. We will be holding here for some time for you to complete this dimensioning part. Please raise your hand if you are done with the dimensioning. Raise and hold your hand there if you are done with the dimensioning. If you have any queries, please quickly type in the chat box. I will allow you for 5 more minutes. For 3:41, we'll start the next session, and I also want to see that everyone are able to follow this step. So quickly complete your dimensions and raise your hand. Aman, you are also there in the lab, right?
No, sir. I am in my room, sir. Sir. In lab, the network is not good, so I am coming to my room, sir.
Okay, how many of you are participating from the lab?
No, sir. I am in my room, sir. Hostel room, sir.
No, others. I'm saying the others who are participating on. Okay, Nijam, Pragya. Okay. So can someone from the lab who raise your hand who did this step? I think Ajay. Ajay, you are in the lab. Okay. So Aman, let me give chance to Ajay from this step because you already shared your content. Thank you so much for your assistance so far, volunteership. So I will now
Okay.
give a chance to Ajay. Ajay, please share your screen and we will.
Can I stop
You
the
can proceed.
session?
Yeah, stop sharing. Ajay, can you please share your screen?
Sir, actually I am done in lab PC, sir, and I am joining meeting my personal laptop, sir.
Okay, you are doing in a
They cannot.
laptop.
Yes, sir. They cannot project that screen because they are joining with their smartphone, sir. That's why they cannot project their screen, sir.
Okay. Fine. So then, Aman, I don't have any other opportunity.
Okay, sir.
Would you mind? Sorry, would you, if you don't mind, can you please share your screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can share it again,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you.
And that screen. Yes, sir. One. Uh, sorry, sir. I closed that portion.
Fine, no
I closed
issue.
that portion.
No issue.
Sir. Already generated portion is yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. Ajay, have we completed up to this process of dimensioning, giving the dimensioning to the sketch? Ajay? Mohammed, you have completed, right? Sorry? Mohammed? Can you unmute yourself, Mohammed? Have you done this dimensioning process? Who else? Anyone can tell me, like, have you completed this dimensioning process or not? Okay, Mohammed, you are done with the dimensioning process. Can you unmute yourself and let me know?
Sir, I have net issue in the lab.
Fine,
I'm
I can
unable
hear
to.
your audio. Your audio is fine now.
Yes,
Arhit
sir.
is there?
Yes, sir. Arish is there.
Arhit is available in the lab?
Yes, sir.
Is he guiding you all?
Hello. Sir,
Arhit,
am
are
I
you
audible?
guiding your? Are you able to guide your friends or not?
Sir, actually, there is a problem like nobody is able to follow you. So I told them just to see the video once. After that, they can after they will get the recorded video, they can pause and sir follow it up. So because they are not
Yes,
able
sir.
to follow it, and there are some system glitches in the software. I don't know why, sir. Sometimes it is coming. Sometimes the graphics is not like showing up, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. They can watch
So
the recorded video, which is uploaded on YouTube, sir.
yes, sir. You just like tell the procedures and the concepts and how the workbench, how you are thinking with the workbench. After that, they can sir like follow it up because sir, following it up within a short period of time is very difficult. Like they are not able to follow it.
Yes, sir.
Some
We cannot
yeah,
complete the
technical,
course properly, so
yes, sir. And some technical glitches are also coming there, sir.
Fine, then what we can do alternative. We will discuss that then alternative for that. Later on,
Yes, sir.
Arhit.
Like
Yeah, fine.
we have to find some alternate way because sir, nobody is able to search. Nobody is able to make the model till now, sir.
Nobody is able to make the model till now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because sir, while watching the video and like making the model, like they are not able to follow it up. So I think, sir, we need to either we need to slow it down, or I think, sir, we can like make the model after by seeing the recorded videos.
Fine. All right. So then, as it is already a recorded session,
yes,
I will
sir.
give you a few more details and we'll interact with all the students here. So no need to worry. I will complete this mesh part and I will just interact with you all. Then we'll go to the solver session in the next part. So further, after completing this meshing, go through the recording later on, or I will think about the alternative, what we can do for this issue later on. From the next session onwards, we will try to resolve this issue. So please look at this after the from here we are going to start our actual simulation. It up to this part is all completely pre-processing. So now I will share my screen.
Can I stop doing, sir?
Yeah, I just did that. So now please see my screen, everyone. We just completed with the pre-processing step, that is performing of the meshing and creating the geometry also, everything. So now we are going to create, do the actual process, entering into the actual process of simulation. What we need to do is we need to instruct the software, what are your boundary conditions? What are your boundary conditions means what each boundary is significant, like the significance of every boundary. That means you are saying your physical conditions, reality conditions to your geometry. So what are those reality geometries? So I'm saying this line, are you able to see this line? This line, this line, and this line. So these three lines, you just select with the control button and right click and go to the option named selections. Here it is, create named selections. Okay, then use this option and click on it. Once you're done it, you get an option or a box, text box. There you can enter the name for these three lines. So what are these three lines? I select these three lines as inlet. Okay, I'm saying these three lines as my inlet. What inlet? Velocity inlet. I will say something like velocity inlet. Okay, and I click on enter. Once you're done that, you will see here at this below the mesh icon, you will get another tree item that is named selection. Here you can see your velocity inlet. From that, you will see all these three as the inlet option. Okay, so now I will say this one as an outlet. So now I will select this one, this fourth line. I'll select this fourth line and right click and add a named selection, create a named selection as outlet or pressure outlet. Pressure outlet. Okay, and click on enter. Now you can see another named selection is added. That is my pressure outlet. Okay, so what is the edge that left without any boundary condition? The edge that remaining is this one. This edge is the remaining left edge in the entire surface. So here I select now this edge. Okay, and I click on, I will do the right click and I go to the create name selection. Mohammed, you want to convey something? Okay, create named selection. Then I go to, I type the name as wall and click OK. Fine. Got it. So now we are done with the creating a wall, also velocity inlet, pressure outlet, and wall. Everything is done. Once it is done, you can just click on the generate button. There is a generate button. Click on it. Okay. Our mesh is ready. Our boundary conditions are ready. Boundary conditions are nothing but these things. Velocity inlet. These three will comes under velocity inlet, and this will come as a pressure outlet, and this comes as a wall. Okay, that means fluid cannot pass through this wall. That's why we are giving a limit condition as wall. Okay.
Sir, after giving some value, we have to generate it.
After giving
Every
all
time I
the
have to
named conditions, after creating all these three values, you just click on the generate once. That's
Okay, sir.
okay. Fine. If that is done, then you just right click on the mesh and click on the update option. There is an option called update. So again, how to get this update? Click on the mesh and right click on it and get the update option and click on the update option. Okay. So now everything is set in the meshing. What we need to do now, we are going to the simulation platform. Please follow these things and you can note it down. If you are unable to follow any content or you're missing any content, you can watch the recording later on. And also we will see alternative process for that. So meshing is done. Then close the meshing part So what we need to do now? We need to now go to the Fluent setup. Okay. We just completed our meshing part. So connect this meshing to the Fluent. Just give me a second. I see some problem here. So I will try to handle this one later. Just give me a second. So if you are facing any issue with the connection, like unable to create the connection, delete the unnecessary things and add the Fluent module again and perform this connection. You see the icon here is still a storm icon. So a thunder icon. So we should not get a thunder icon. You should get a green tick. So what you need to do is you just right click and click on the update. So wait for some time. It will give you a green tick. Okay. So now here we got a green tick. Fine. So what we need to do now? We just need to open this edit box. So before going to the advanced steps, I hope you are all in the lab only. So what I will quickly do is I will quickly upload this particular session, what we have just recorded now, to the YouTube, and I'll quickly share the link with Arhit or everyone, with you all also. So please follow that. And if you have any queries, we have half an hour more, and I will guide you in this complete session in this half an hour. Any step, go through that video again, wherever the steps you want, and I will be in the online mode available for you all, so that you can follow and complete this connection up to this part. Okay, give me some time. I will add
Yes,
this
sir.
video. Yeah. Everyone try to follow these things. I will give you some time now. So if you have any queries, Arhit can also help you now. And also, I am also here. Let me know what are the queries you have.